Hi, everyone. My name is Stacy Heisman, and I am with GI Jobs. And today we are covering a great franchise that's out there, mostly for veterans. And the name of the franchise is GeForce. And today I'm interviewing two franchise owners, both former Marines, and they are going to talk to me today about why they chose this franchise and how other veterans out there can do the same. So today with me, I have Jason and Jeannette Scranton. How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Great. Where are you guys, by the way?
Northeast Ohio in the Cleveland area.
What's that saying go? Ohio. Isn't that what they do out there? I mean, they're fanatics, aren't they? I know all the people listening from Ohio are yelling at me through the camera right now. Anyways, so let's talk a little bit about, you guys are both former Marines, right?
Yep.
All right. Actually, tell me a little bit about your service, Jeannette.
So I joined the Marine Corps in 1998, right after high school, and became a Russian linguist, actually was what I started as. But basically I was in signals intelligence and spent, most of my career in either signals intelligence or offensive cyberspace operations at the end. And when I retired in 2018, I was a Chief Warrant Officer 3.
Fantastic. And how long did you serve?
20 years.
20 years. Long time. Very long time. How about you, Jason?
I joined in 1993. Was also in signals intelligence. I wasn't smart enough to be a linguist. But did 23 years and did cyberspace operations towards the end up there at Fort Meade, and retired in 2000.
I don't know.
23 years after whatever 1990.
I love it.
And he retired as a master sergeant.
And I retired as a master sergeant.
Nice, very nice. Well, it sounds like you both had incredible careers, which I love to hear. And I also love to hear that you're retired and you've moved on to other stuff. So let's talk about the franchise that you own. Tell me a little bit about why you chose this franchise. And what is this franchise? Tell me a little bit about GeForce, Jeannette.
So GeForce is a parking lot line striping franchise. And we like to joke that it was not our lifelong dream to be parking lot stripers. I know it sounds like it should have been, but it's not. But we were looking for something different and something that we could start our own business, be our own boss. But we didn't really know or understand how to run a business. There's a lot of things that the military taught us about organizing and planning and make us good at running a business. Sure. But all the little details about, you've got to sign up for your business license here. You have to do these things. You need this insurance. You need all these things. Those are things that you can't just find and just do. You need help. And so the idea of joining a franchise to help us with those things, as well as help us get customers, help us with advertising, was really enticing to us. And so we started looking for franchises that catered to veterans. And we found GeForce, which is a veterans only franchise.
That's amazing. Jason, did you go through many different franchises, or was this the first one that you were like, okay, this is the one I want?
Yeah, so I think there was a couple of different ones that we saw. This one was the most enticing to me. It was something that it wasn't super physically demanding as far as
Okay.
I'm not 25 anymore, so
none of us are.
The heaviest thing I have to lift is a 5 bucket gallon of paint. So that's relatively, I can still do that, and I think it's easily scalable. We can grow it. And it just, after talking with Jack, really seemed like the right fit for us. And so it's great. You can really, the other benefit to it is being able to reach out to all the different franchise owners. If there's a question, I run into this problem with 28 other owners out there, they've likely either run into the problem before, or we can brainstorm it and figure out how to fix that problem. And that is a huge benefit.
So it sounds like GeForce actually has a giant network of veterans for you to kind of rely on. Am I hearing that right?
Absolutely.
Yes, and not only that, but Jack, the franchise owner, and then
Jack Child, right? I want to make sure I get his name.
Jack Child.
Okay.
And then he has another guy, Craig, who basically they've done it. And so Craig is a really huge resource for people who, need to know the ins and outs of how to do these things. And so when we're looking at a big job that maybe seems like more than what we're ready for, you can talk to the other franchise owners or people who've done it, or Craig, who's, his job it is to help us and guide us through this stuff. And they can tell you, like, it's not nearly as difficult as it seems, or you might not want to get into that quite yet. You're not ready. And they'll give you some ideas of, where you're ready to go next, because, some of it seems scary and difficult. I mean, it's pavement repair, it's asphalt repair. And then once you get into it, you realize this isn't actually that hard. It's all about just knowing what you're doing. And so having a network of people that know what they're doing, it's just helps dramatically.
And that falls right into my next question, which is, signals intelligence and asphalt paving are very different, right? Mm-hmm. So let's go into, what did the military teach you or help you when it comes to owning this particular business? Like what kind of skills did you come with that the military, you can say, oh, I learned that in the military?
Yeah, 100% was planning, organizing, being able to manage, 15 different moving parts to make them all come together at the right time, at the right place. I think that's the biggest. And then, understanding like, wow, this seems like a big daunting task, but I just have to chip away at it and I'll get it done, and we'll get there to the end, being able to see like a long-term goal and achieve it. I think those are the things for me anyway.
And I think most people don't realize, if you've spent your entire adult life in the military, it doesn't matter what job you have, you probably learned some project management. You're probably far better at it than you realize. You might not have a PMP, you might not have some official certificate that says you're qualified for this, but probably you can do most of the things that they can do as well, just through your experience. And people undervalue their experience in the military a lot because they don't have a piece of paper that says that they're qualified to do something. And my personal opinion is that you don't necessarily need that. School isn't right for everybody. Experience works for a lot of people. And, I could have gotten my college degree while I was in, and I chose to spend more time with my kids. And we were blessed enough to give our GI Bills to our kids. And, there's a lot of opportunity in the military, and all of that experience and opportunity in the military transitions once you leave.
Oh, I just love everything that you said, because I think that's so important for people to understand that, when they transition out of the service, that just because, their resume doesn't look identical to what's being offered, the chances are they probably have more than enough skill sets to be able to take that job. So I love what you said. I think that's important for others to hear. And, to really wrap up what G-Force has, it looks like you guys are doing well. You guys are happy. I love the shirts, by the way. And it's veteran owned. If someone's out there right now about ready to transition, tell me, what piece of advice would you give them transitioning out? Like, would you have them look for a franchise? What's the one thing of sage advice that you'd pass on to your fellow Marines or anyone getting out of the service?
I would say, don't be afraid to do something different. This is clearly way different than what we were used to. And we actually left service and both got jobs in the cyberspace world, and we just didn't like it. We were tired of doing the same thing that we had been doing for years, and we wanted something different. And so don't be afraid to step out and do something that you've never done. You're far more qualified to do things than you think you are.
That's an awesome piece of advice. Jason, what do you think?
I would agree with Jeanette. I mean, I think people get scared of the unknown, and, just, step out there, do it. It's not as far as you think. If you just keep chipping away at it, YouTube's a wonderful resource. If you don't know how to do something, likely there's a video about it or 10 videos about it, and it'll even show you how not to do it correctly.
Right.
And so, and if you get into a franchise, like, the benefit is being able to reach out to a guy who's been doing it for 10 years. being able to reach out to a guy, you know, who has that experience. And I know that within our franchise, when guys have run into problems, we've even had guys who fly up.
Okay.
You know, oh, I just scored this huge job. I'm not ready to run it.
Somebody
will come up. They'll have 3 guys that'll fly up. They use their equipment. They just get the job done. And, you know, and so there's all of those things that are just inherent into this franchise, which is just fantastic. It's almost like a family, really.
I think that's a perfect way to wrap it up, to be honest with you. I think when veterans leave and they retire and they become vets, I think they realize, you know, how much they miss that kind of internal networking support. It Absolutely. Sounds like GI Jobs, but it sounds like G-Force actually can provide that, which is, I think a lot of people look for that. And I think you hit the nail on the head, or you paved the right line. I don't know. I'm sure there's lots of puns you guys have out there. Anyways, I just want to say thank you so much for giving me your time and maybe sharing some of your valuable advice, because I'm telling you, people, as you know, are scared when they transition out. And sometimes they just need to see the faces and hear the stories to know that it'll be okay. Right?
Yeah,
absolutely. Right. It's not as scary. And thanks to G-Force for providing you guys to us, and Jack Childs, who hires veterans only. And I think that says something by itself too, right?
Absolutely.
So absolutely. Jason and Jeannette Scranton in Ohio, I appreciate you guys being with us with G-Force today. And again, I'm Stacy Heisman for GI Jobs. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Stacy.
Thank you, Stacy.
Thanks.